Hi friends, if you got the High Priestess for your tarot card for the year, this reading is going to be for you. If you haven't done the math yet to figure out what your theme card is for the year, I'll put the equation in the notes below so you can figure that out for yourself. Let's get into it. The High Priestess is all about intuition, spiritual wisdom, and receptivity. Overall, this reading is really reminding us to slow down, think and listen before acting or speaking. The Fool at the center of our journey is reminding us to be okay with being a beginner. Approach things with the curiosity of the beginner's mindset, unafraid to take a chance. The Fool acts on his instincts while the High Priestess has honed her intuition. So it's going to be about trying out, acting on those instincts first, and then looking at how did that work for me? Looking at, hey, what did I notice about that? And being a little bit more curious about why did I act that way? Where is that coming from? And being okay with maybe making a few mistakes and flailing a little bit, because if we don't make mistakes, we're not truly learning. We can do stuff perfect every time, and we're never really gonna learn how and why things work the way they do if we don't do it wrong and have to fix that. In the mental realm, the Eight of Wands inverted is reminding us to slow down. Maybe there's a lot of action going on in your mind, a lot of thinking, and maybe you tend to just say things. Maybe you share, maybe you're an oversharer, maybe you blurt stuff out. This is a reminder to kind of slow down, and even though those thoughts come in, they don't need to come out of your mouth always, okay? So it's also being able to be receptive and listen to others instead of preparing a response. So there's a difference between listening for comprehension and overall understanding, or just being there for somebody. Maybe your friend just needs you to listen to them. Maybe they don't need your advice. Maybe they're not looking for you to solve the problem, right? So it's really about listening and taking in all of the information before you decide to respond. It's about being discerning and what you're choosing to say versus what's going on in your busy mind. In the emotional realm, we're being asked to be practical. Okay, so this is looking at our emotions and our feelings and looking at the root causes of things. So maybe we're not looking at the trigger of what set us off, right? We're looking at the ammunition behind the trigger. So one thing that's really helpful is to understand what that ammunition is, right? So that when the trigger's pulled, that ammunition, that energy has been cleared out, or we full well understand and have kind of a game plan on how we're going to act upon that instead of being super reactionary. Okay, this is a reminder to kind of weed out the garden too, which takes me across over here to our practical realm. We have emotions. In the emotional realm, we have be practical. Okay, so this is the physical realm, and the Four of Cups inverted is asking us to clear out old energy, dump out those old cups. The worst thing we can do is repress old emotions and things and not let that energy flow through us so it can clear out. The Four of Cups is asking us to physically discharge that energy. So whether it be through exercise, through yoga, through dancing, some kind of physical activity, an intentional energy clearing is going to be really helpful. This is something that's really great to do bi-weekly or monthly even, and with intention, okay? In the action, we have another card reminding us to slow down. The Magician inverted may not have himself grounded in reality, so make sure that you have the tools you need to execute the task that you're trying to execute. Make sure that you are prepared and intentional. So this is a reminder to where we put our intentions and where we put our beliefs is what we're going to actually manifest. So it's a reminder of what you see and choose to believe, you make true, right? And so it's kind of a reassessing what you're telling yourself. What is this narrative I'm telling myself? And are my actions aligning with that in a healthy, helpful way or not? The High Priestess also is really good about keeping secrets, while the Magician can be deceptive. So it's being able to understand the difference between what you need to kind of keep in and maybe what doesn't need to be shared with everybody in the world. Is like kind of like, whoa, hold on, keep that back for yourself, because it's not necessarily appropriate or necessary for everyone to know that thing about you or everyone to see that thing about you. It's being a little more kind of playing your cards a little bit more closely. So overall, the High Priestess is here to teach us to trust our intuition, not be afraid to be a beginner. Think before we speak, or listen before we speak. Take a moment to address what's going on. What old feelings have you packed away that you haven't addressed? Clearing those old energies out with some kind of ritual, and being discerning on the action that you're taking. Sometimes the best action is no action at all.